Hey guys, I appreciate you for taking the time to click on this video and checking out this wonderful build that we've put together. If you have any specific questions that I may not cover in this about how to make any of the gear, etc. for it, feel free to join the Discord server. The link is going to be down below. And make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Enjoy. Moana, Exiles, what's up guys? It's good to be making another Path of Exile video. I've had a wonderful blast with this league so far. I've heard both sides of the story, whether you either think it's the greatest thing ever or if you just got a little bit bored with it. Personally, I've always been a huge fan of crafting, so this league has just been, I've made like 6 builds already just because I feel like I can play all the things. But this one really stood out in particular to the point where I actually wanted to make a YouTube video about it. Caustic Arrow. Based on PoE Ninja, I've been able to push to significantly higher damage over time than any other Caustic Arrow on the ladder, at least from what I've seen. I think the number 2 guys at like 3 million damage over time, whereas this particular build we were able to push 5.1 million. It's absolutely bonkers. I pretty much killed every single endgame boss you can think of, deathless. And at the end of this video, we're actually going to be showcasing an Uber Elder fight that I did where we went deathless, and it was a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's kind of go ahead and hop over and start talking about a little bit about the gear. So Cherubim's Maleficence is going to be your number 1 damage build or damage chest piece. Being that it has 80% increased chaos damage on it, that's really hard to beat. Even on the most well-crafted rare chest piece or anything else, it's a really solid chest. Some more survivability options you could run with are things like Feral's Fur, explodey chests like you can see here, and this is actually the chest we were using in that opening video of the maps we were just running. Explodey just feels really good, and being able to clear packs and then not have them, especially the porcupines, kind of one-shot you or something, it's pretty nice. But when it comes to boss killing, if you're just trying to push straight damage, I feel like Cherubim's Maleficence is just where it's at, especially if it's a perfectly rolled 80% chaos damage. So kind of tuning in more toward the gear, you're going to notice that all of my pieces have abyssal sockets. Being that harvest crafting is a thing this league, we're able to put an abyssal socket on everything that can get one and then manipulate all the other mods to however we want them. My most proud product here is my gloves. I do need to do the harvest divine to get the 16% chaos damage over time multiplier, but they're all tier 1 mods. The way you kind of brew this type of glove is you hit it with the abyssal socket, and you'll notice the damage over time prefix that's tier 1 here doesn't have a tag on it. So you're going to essentially want to fill those suffixes up and then keep add, remove, influence modifier until you hit that one. Or you could even reforge an item keeping suffixes, so that way you can maintain your abyssal socket, and then as soon as you hit that modifier, then you can just manipulate all the other mods really easily. Something to note with the lion pelt, we could squeeze a little bit more DPS because this is not an I-85. I just, for the life of me, could not find a 40% caustic arrow damage lion pelt on the market at I-85 forever. So I just went ahead and went with this one. The reason I bring that up is because then you can get the suffix nearby enemies have -9% to chaos resistance. Just another form of, juicing out a little bit more DPS. Amulets, super easy to make, +2 to all our gems essentially, with chaos damage over time multiplier, and then res fixing and life. And then of course the bow. I actually went with a synthesized bow because I was able to get the implicit 40% increased chaos damage, which is just absolute bonkers. And overall with our gear put together, we're looking at a level 31 caustic arrow, which is absolutely nuts. So yeah, pretty much with all these abyssal jewels, we're kind of able to fix our resistance and our attributes from there, and then any piece of gear that could get damage on it has damage on it. We're able to essence craft our rings to get the 34% increased chaos damage, and then just harvest craft all the other stuff. I am working on an idea I have to squeeze a little bit more damage out of those as well. Witchfire Brew is an option when it comes to flasks. I went with Dying Sun just because it felt a lot more enjoyable when it comes to clearing packs and stuff like that, but Witchfire Brew is just fine as well, because then you're going to get the damage over time as well as not having to self-cast Despair. Personally, I don't really mind self-casting Despair because the only time you're really needing to cast it is on the boss. There's only one boss and you just drop it once, and I feel like you get a little bit more value out of it, especially since our Despair is a level 23 based off of some of our global modifiers. So I mean, to each his own in that regard. Let's kind of hop straight over to the path of building. So as you're going to notice, we do take a cluster jewel and some other like little spicy things we're doing. We're using Thread of Hope to grab the Discipline of Unyielding, Discipline of Slaughter, Bravery, and Fury Bolts. We're able to save, you know, some extra passive skill points. And as you can see, our total damage over time DPS is 5.1 million. And that's based off the Cherubim's Maleficence. I swear, I can never pronounce the name of that chess piece. If we want to squeeze a little bit more damage, instead of going this route, you could come up through the middle here. I like the comfort of being around 6.1k life. To each his own. You could squeeze a little bit more damage by removing some of these life nodes, kind of pathing your way into more, maybe another set of clusters, or like I said, into the wheel. When it comes to Amulet Anointment, we went with Dirty Techniques. As you can see from node power, it's one of the higher, pretty much the highest DPS one we're going to get. There are some curse-oriented ones, such as Skittering Runes. That's going to give you some pretty spicy damage over time, 351k. Increased effect of your curses, so that's going to really juice out your damage that you're going to be inflicting with your Despair. Personally, I just didn't want to be held to Despair triggers, so I went ahead and went with Dirty Techniques, which, I mean, it's fine with me. I think I ended up getting... doesn't say out there. Oh, I guess since I already have it, it's not going to show up, but... somewhere close to it. I think Skittering Runes is technically more, so if you want to get a little bit more for your boss damage, then Skittering Runes is probably going to be the way. So when it comes to mana reservation, you're going to notice being at level 31 gem, like we're fueling through mana. So when it comes to reservation, we're running things like Charisma and reduced mana reservation, which is going to be able to be granted from Intuitive Leap, so we're not wasting, you know, passive skills on these two. And then we're able to grab Method of Madness and Chaos Damage Over Time Multiplier. Some of our jewels are going to be Misery Everlasting, Unholy Grace, and Wicked Pall for our medium, or excuse me, large cluster. And then our mediums can be Eldritch Inspiration and Wicked Pall. And I think I got that for both. Oh, Exposure Therapy and Wicked Pall in the second one. But yeah, so that going into our items, like I said, we just kind of went over those already a little bit. Cherubim's Maleficence. If we did go with like an Explodey chest, we go down to 4.9 million. Not the end of the world, but something to be kind of cognizant of. Like I said, I personally just kind of liked Explodey just because it's really fun. And at the end of the day, it's what it's all about. And we're able to, when I showcased the Uber Elder kill at the end of this video, I was using this chest piece, the Explodey one. He did die a little bit faster, I think, from the Maleficence, but we're also running Clarity for our mana check. Malevolence, Despair is our curse, and then Dash with Second Wind and Power, so that way you can kind of get the little speedy boy, get that third dash out of it. And then, of course, Aspect of the Spider, which is also reserving a little bit of our mana. It's inflicting webs on them, and you're able to kind of juice out a little bit more damage. So without further ado, guys, if you have any more questions about this build at all, feel free to hop in the Discord server. I'll have the link down below, and ask me any kind of questions. How did I craft any of the pieces of gear that you know, may be a little bit confused about? I'm more than happy to talk about it. My DMs are always open, or you can just talk in Gen Chat. I'm sure me or anyone else is more than willing to help you. This build has been so much fun to play. Absolutely loved it, and I had to make a video just so I can share it with you guys. So here's the Uber Elder kill, and I hope to see you guys again next time.
Putrefy, rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something!
Oh, so Elder's the vulnerable one now. Oh god. So I don't know which one is vulnerable right now. A little bit of a problem. So it looks like Shaper is. Oh god.
Gaze into the abyss.
I can't really tell who's the vulnerable one.
Gaze into the abyss.
So it looks like Shaper just went down. Oh. Looks like he's about to go down. There he is. Ooh. Yes, I do. Killed Uber Elder. Deathless.